What next, Nathan? Are we gonna do the retro, or are we gonna do the
I guess we're gonna do this retro review, Ryan. Oh
so
my god.
so we were looking for a retro review to do, and I had mentioned last week wanted to do WCW. And so we were
Yep.
like, what can we do? So we're gonna watch the episode in Nitro. That was the Fingerpoke of Doom,
Jesus.
because we determined that that episode of Dynamite might end up in the history books going down as the Fingerpoke of Doom of AEW,
Yeah.
because that's such a bad decision. So this was January 4th, 1999 at the Georgia Dome. And I do
You
not
know,
remember WCW
I
being bad.
I didn't realize that WCW. This was the very beginning of 1999.
Yeah, this was the first episode of 1999.
I mean, you know,
What a way to start it.
yeah. This is if this was any sign of things to come. Let me tell you.
So I've got notes here. I watched this and reported a bunch of notes. I did not watch leading up to this, so I don't know any of the storylines going on. I don't know why any of this is happening. Luckily, WCW does a very good job of recapping shit.
Well, we got a lot of weird shit going on here.
So
So
the beginning of the show, they recapped what was going on, and apparently the storyline going was that Nash was upset with the way he beat Goldberg, which I don't remember, but we weren't really watching WCW at this time. But he said Goldberg got screwed, and tonight it's going to be Goldberg versus Nash in a rematch for the World Heavyweight Championship. So I guess Nash was technically a face at this moment.
uh-huh.
The first match, Nathan, you want to talk about WCW? We had Glacier versus Hugh Morris.
Okay, so
What?
when not only okay, so this is so confusing because so Hugh Morris was the laughing guy
Yeah,
before. Now all of a sudden he's serious,
he's a serious guy. Yeah.
and he's got Jimmy Hart as his manager.
Yeah, dude, none of this is ringing a bell, man. When I was watching this, I was like, I don't remember.
Glacier's didn't look like he had any of his Glacier stuff.
Well, I don't remember Glacier still being there in '99.
Yeah, he didn't have any of his Glacier stuff. He looked just like a normal dude.
Yeah.
And Hugh Morris beat him in 2 minutes and 46 seconds.
Yeah, this was what a opening segment.
Yeah.
This was not good either. Like neither I wrote my notes say yawn. Because there was nothing going on during this match. Like nothing happened.
Yeah.
Then Ric Flair came out. He's the new owner or president or booker.
This went on way too long.
He beat Eric Bischoff last week. He called Bischoff out. Eric was demoted to commentary, working under Tony Schiavone. Uh, and then he just kept talking about everything. They're acting like this is like he's fucking president of the United States or something.
I know.
I want to thank all these people. Like, what is, I don't, he rambled on. This led to him making a handicap match for himself, which he's an idiot. He booked a match between him and then against Kurt Hennig and Barry Windham. And then David Flair got on the mic, which, whoo, boy.
Yeah.
Uh, could not talk, but David Flair said, I want to wrestle with you. And then Ric Flair kind of laughed him off. And then Arn Anderson goes, no, he knows his stuff. Kid knows his stuff. And so Ric Flair's like, sure. Weird.
Very weird, dude. Very, very weird.
That's all I can say. I know. Ric Flair just kept going on. His whole family was there. Like, such a weird celebration for just becoming the president of WCW? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we had Booker T versus who I really thought was Snitsky. Like a 1 minute match, very sloppy. Booker T won.
Yeah. The guy didn't look like he wanted Booker T to pick him up.
Yeah,
If a Booker T said, fuck you, I'm picking you up, and he spine busted him, and
hit the
what did he win with?
a top rope drop kick.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that was his move back then. And then Booker T said, I'm gonna keep fighting until I'm the number one contender. For what? I don't know. But he just said I'm gonna be the number one contender.
Uh-huh.
He didn't say a championship. He just said I'm gonna be the number one contender in here. Of the world title? I don't know.
Yeah.
Norman Smiley took on Chavo Guerrero. This was a decent match. But the announcers annoyed the fuck out of me because they just kept talking about Eric Bischoff the whole time.
Yeah.
This was so annoying. They weren't even, and that was I looking back on this, I realized why I hated WCW because the announcers never talked about the fucking match.
Yep.
And
And I don't know. This match got a little sloppy at some
yes,
point,
yeah, I had that
but
written down. It was sloppy.
it was very sloppy. Chavo Guerrero, I guess he was very young in this match because
So who was the heel here?
Norman Smiley. I don't know. That's what I was saying. This episode was weird because a lot of these guys felt like their characters were flip flopped.
Yeah, because Chavo won, and then Norman Smart beat him up afterwards, which I thought Norman
Yeah,
was because he got cheered when he came out.
I have no idea.
I think everybody in WCW was just a tweener. Like I think everybody was just a heel and a face, and nothing mattered.
Yeah.
Chavo won, and then Norman Smart beat him up. He picked up his horse. This is when Chavo was doing the Pepe gimmick. He picked it up and then he walked away, but then he walked back like he forgot he was going to do something with it. Like it was like he forgot what he was supposed to do, and then he like hit him with it or something. It was super awkward. And then we had Horace Hogan
Oh God.
versus the man who shall not be named. Horace walks like he's like got a turd up his ass. Like he's the most. It was so awkward watching him like run the ropes and walk. I don't understand. Like, like
Yeah, this is horrible.
then the other guy, yeah, the other guy won. But this was bad. Like Horace walks. I mean, I remember Horace being bad, but he sucks. Like Horace Hogan's awful. So then we had Goldberg getting arrested. He couldn't cut a promo in 1999.
No.
He didn't talk. Like he doesn't talk like a normal person in his promos. Like he's like, oh, this is whatever he kept saying. I do a lot for this community. You know, this is bull crap. Whatever it is, I didn't do it. Whatever it is, I didn't do it. He just kept repeating himself like over and over and over. And it's like they didn't give these guys a script.
I'm pretty sure they didn't.
It was just like, go out there, you're gonna get arrested, Goldberg. So act like you're getting arrested. And he'd never been arrested before, so he didn't know what to do. So then Nash was out there, he was mad, and Hogan was laughing, acting like a politician because I guess he went on the Tonight Show and said he was going to run for president or some shit.
Yeah, he says he was retired from wrestling and he was going to run for president of the United States.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Then we had a really fun match. This was my favorite match of the night. Perry Saturn and Chris Jericho. I thought this match was fantastic for what it was for being a Nitro match. I thought it was fun. The ending was super weird though.
Yeah, and disqualification.
Yeah, but like he hit him with the spin kick or whatever. Referee went down, and then Jericho locked him in the lion tamer, and then the referee called for the bell. And but the announcers had mentioned that the referee and Perry Saturn had issues in the past. So I don't know.
Yeah, you can't just have, you just can't in WCW. You couldn't just have just a match. You got to
Every
have.
match on here ended in like weird situations.
You had to, yeah, you had to have some weird thing happen.
Yeah. Then we had more Goldberg arrest shit, whatever, and then Elizabeth was saying what happened, and she can't act either. And then we had another segment with the LWO party, which went on forever. It's like the longest thing ever. Look at the
Yeah.
LWO having a party, and it just kept going. And I was like, Jesus. But that's led to a match: Kidman and Mysterio versus Juventud Guerrera and Psychosis. Now, the announcer said this was going to be a tornado tag match. I specifically remember Tony Schiavone saying, "Now, Eric, this is going to be a tornado tag match where all four men will be in the ring at the same time." And then it literally just was a normal tag match. Fucking WCW, dude.
I don't think they let the wrestlers know.
It was like, this is a tornado tag match. And then immediately, Psychosis and Ray are on the outside. And I was like, well, okay. And then they were tagging in and out. And there was a moment where Juventud was legal man. He did a flip dive to the outside. And then Psychosis goes in the ring. And while Juventud's outside of the ring and Psychosis is in the ring, they tag. And I'm like, now wait. Juventud's the legal man. He's outside the ring. He reaches up into the ring and tags in Psychosis is in the ring. And now Psychosis is legal. What the?
Boy.
I don't think anyone knew what a tornado tag team match was.
No. definitely not.
This was fun though. Actually, I kind of lied. This may have been my favorite match on the show. Despite it not being a tornado tag match, and then at some points they were all in the ring together, and at some points the referee was like stopping them from getting in the ring together. No one knew what was happening, but as a match, it was pretty fun. Hoovy and Psychosis win because there was like miscommunication between Ray and Kidman, and yeah, they won. So fun match though, but really took me out as soon as it was not a tornado. I couldn't stop laughing because I was like, wait,
So, TV title match, Ryan. We had another title match on this show.
yeah,
Conan defeated Scott Steiner, who was the champion, but
yeah.
he didn't get the belt because it was disqualification, like
Uh,
everything else.
Ended in DQ. This was, and I did not remember that this was also the night that they gave away McFoley winning the WWE Championship. I did not know that happened the same night.
Yep.
He did it twice. He did it before this match started, and then during the match, he did it, and they laughed. And they're like, oh, God, yeah, what a champion. He's like, that's going to be their world champion. I did not know this happened on the same night. I always thought that was a different night.
Oh.
Jesus, what a cluster. What a horrible decision this was 2 times on the same show. Holy crap. But yeah, Scott Steiner Conan was awful. Not slow, boring, ended in DQ. Then we had Wrath coming out, cutting a promo. I don't know what he said. I don't know what he was talking about. He challenged anyone to a match. Bam Bam Bigelow came out. Sloppy, 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 double count out. Is what I wrote. So if you're keeping track at home, that is a disqualification followed by a double count out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brian Adams versus DDP. Sloppy. DDP won with a middle rope diamond cutter, which did not look good because Brian Adams don't know how to take a diamond cutter, apparently. He like waited on his knees.
Oh my god.
Awful. This show was bad, dude.
Yeah.
And then we came to the main event, the Fingerpoke of Doom. We forgot there was a Hogan promo where like
I was gonna say Hogan got into this match somehow.
so Nash did a promo earlier in the night and he said that he knew it was Hogan's doing because anything Elizabeth does, Hogan has her do. And he said, you know, I'm gonna call you out for a match. Ric Flair, you make the match. And Flair came out and said, Hogan, you haven't officially retired yet, so you're still a WCW wrestler, so you're wrestling in this match tonight. Nash got completely played, or Flair got completely played in this. And then Hogan came out, accepted the challenge, and did a typical Hogan promo. Whatever. So then it became Hogan and Nash for the championship. Goldberg's still arrested. They circle each other. Hogan pushes his one finger into Nash's chest. Nash does a bump. Hogan pins him, wins the championship. Scott Steiner and Scott Hall came out, which I don't know why So this is Kevin Nash was upset with the way he won the title because Scott Hall did. But then Scott Hall comes out with Kevin Nash.
Yeah.
And the announcers are happy to see him. They're like, oh, look, Scott Hall's back. What the fuck?
Yeah. No, none of this made sense at all.
So then they did the finger poke of doom. Then Goldberg, and the crowd is shitting like on everything because they announced that this was going to be Kevin Nash versus Goldberg. This wasn't like a decision. This has been for weeks. This was announced as Kevin Nash versus Goldberg in Atlanta for the World Championship. That is why this didn't go over because it was Nash and Goldberg. It was going to be the rematch. Goldberg was going to get his revenge in the Georgia Dome. And instead they got this shit. Goldberg does end up coming out later. He gets attacked by the NWO. Hogan does the worst belt shot I've ever seen in my life. Like he hits Goldberg with the belt on his back, but it's like he like barely swings it and barely hits him. It's a big celebration. Lex Luger comes out and is like, yeah, get him, Goldberg. And then he attacks him. And then, so the NWO's back together. It's Hogan, Hall, Nash, and Luger. And I guess Bagwell's there too. And just, why? Like, what were they thinking doing this?
I have no idea.
Not only this is the main event you have planned, this is what you're going to give your audience tonight. That you're shitting on WWE for having Mick Foley win the WWE title when this is what you're offering?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I was so, and this is fucking from 1999. I was so pissed off. Like to this day, I was watching this yesterday and I was like, I'm like, this is so stupid. Like, yeah, this was the complete downfall of WCW after this because fans stopped caring
Yep.
because your false advertising was this when this was before uh Vince Russo came in, right?
Yeah.
So this was still Bischoff looking.
Mm-hmm.
So he thought this was a good idea. I
It was really bad.
they could not get away from the NWO. Like he had no idea what to do other than the NWO, and so we just kept bringing it back. And every iteration after the original was more worse than the first, and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse, and then it just became a joke at some point. And
Mm-hmm.
this was awful. This whole show, like, it wouldn't have been as bad if the rest of the show would have been okay, and they would have had some good matches. They had no other stories on this show, and every match they had was pretty damn bad, and none of it made sense because they had tag team matches that were supposed to be a certain tag team match and it wasn't, and then you had this DQs and countouts and screwy finishes and wash matches, and
Yeah, it was really bad.
this whole show was awful, dude. We are picking for these retro reviews are becoming we went from fucking which WrestleMania 23 wasn't bad, but in
Oh yeah,
comparison,
it was.
yeah. And then we got this shit show. We need to watch a good show next. Like I need something that's gonna really get me going. Because
Yeah.
this was like looking back at like when it happened, because we weren't watching at the time. When this happened, we were watching WWE. So we watched the show where Mick Foley won the title. And looking back, I was always like, oh, I never actually watched this show, like the whole show. I'd seen it, I heard about it, and I was thinking the rest of the show can't be that bad. I was like, there's no way the whole show is bad. Nope. Whole show is pretty damn bad.
Yeah, it's I mean, if you watch this episode, this is WCW in a nutshell right here. I mean, this was
Oh my God.
after this is what you could expect for the rest of the time WCW was around.
And it got worse when Russo came around because then they really went with the we're gonna swerve you
Yeah.
just to do it. It makes no sense in our story, but it makes sense in but we're gonna do it just to screw with the fans. Yeah, that's what made it so bad. They advertised it for weeks. That was gonna be Goldberg and Nash, and then it was not.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, what a shit show. All right. Well, that certainly was something. Rewatching that episode sucked. Yeah, it was very bad. What were your thoughts on the Finger Poke of Doom? Did you think this was going to be the end of WCW when it happened? Were you watching then? Let us know. Also, if you could like, comment, subscribe, share this video around, we truly appreciate you. We'll be back tomorrow with a fantasy booking of the Undisputed Era. We'll see you then. Thank you.